In this demonstration, we're going to be looking at filtering on the Service Master grid. First, looking at the grid, we can see that we have 31 Service Master records, and this number will change as we apply a filter. To apply a filter, we simply click the Open Filter button on the ribbon bar, and once the window is open, this window will stay open and we're able to move it within the browser so we can perform other tasks on the grid such as paging. Filters can be created, saved, removed, and organized within the filter window, and we'll look at each of those actions as we create a new filter. Filter windows may also contain multiple pages of filters, as in the case of Service Master Grid, where we can filter not just by service, revenue code, and qualified procedure, but also have tabs for service categories and billing categories. However, for this demonstration, we're simply going to stick to the fields that we can see in the grid. The first thing that we're going to filter for is going to be the revenue code. But before we go ahead and do that, let's navigate over to page 3 of the grid to see what possible values that we could use. Looking at the grid, we have various selections here, so let's go ahead and filter by 0124, and we'll choose that from our drop-down box, and also 0128, and finally 0300. So now we've keyed in the filter. It has not been applied to the grid. We need to do that by clicking on the toolbar's Apply button. And as we do that, we'll see that the grid has now updated to 8 rows. Okay, I would like to save this filter now, maybe for later. So let's go ahead and click the Save button. Give it a name of Revenue Code Demo Number 1 and click Save. And once that is saved, we should now be able to see that on the Load menu that we can later recall. Another option on the toolbar is the Clear button. This will not only just clear the fields that we have filtered for, but also will refresh the grid back to what it was when we came in. In this case, we had 31 records. Again, to load the filter, I can simply go up to the Load menu on the window and click Rev Demo 1, and those fields will now repopulate back into the revenue code field. Again, the filter has not been applied, so we do need to apply it to see the results. And the grid will now be back to 8 records. To further the demonstration, I'm going to now filter on the description field, and we'll key in boys and girls, and we'll apply that filter. We can see now that we have 4 records. And I'm also going to save this one as Rev Demo Number 2. And it also now appears on the Load menu. And that will be available to me whenever I come back to the screen. Go ahead and close the screen. The last button on the toolbar is the Organize, which will allow us to organize how they appear on the Load menu. Menus can be reordered, so they appear in the priority that we want. They can be taken off the menu but also saved so we don't lose them, or they can actually be deleted. So in this demonstration, I'm just going to remove Rev Demo 2 from the menu and click Save. And as we come up to the Load menu now, we only see the 1. Again, we'll go back to Organize. We'll bring Rev Demo Number 2 and we'll place it before Rev Demo Number 1 and save that. And as we look at the Load menu, we can see now it's in the order that we had placed. So that demonstrates all the features of the filtering for the Service Master Grid.